I told my friends and family members that I had signed up for free life coaching, most of them rolled their eyes and then cautioned me against getting caught up in a cult or into a pyramid scheme. But I said, haters gonna hate. I knew in my heart that this was destiny. And the reason is, for years I've been trying to figure out what to do next, like what I should do with my life. I've been desperate for a 5-year plan. But no matter how many times I write Google careers or update resume on my to-do list, I never do any of it. Until about 3 months ago, I said, enough is enough. And I sat down at my desk and I Googled Philadelphia therapist career. And I found 3 people who were in my network, and I felt immensely proud of myself for taking the first step in a long time to figuring out what I should do. And then 10 minutes later, I got a text message from my best friend, and it said, I found out about a free life coaching program. Do you want to participate? And I thought, hell yes. It felt like fate to me. You know what I mean? Like I had just, for the first time in a long time, put effort into figuring it out, and then the universe responded, right? They gave me this program, and so I signed up. Now, the main question everyone wanted to know is, why is it free? The reason is because, just like you might get a discount massage at a massage therapy school, I was going to be life coached by students of life coach school, okay? They were gonna coach me and learn at the same time. But the program leader assured me that it would be worth my time because everybody is in a program together, they're all getting guidance and lessons on it, and they've all been life coached themselves, and so I signed up. Fast forward 2 months, and I was in a Washington, D.C. hotel lobby with my best friend and the 4 other guest clients who were in the program. We were waiting to meet our life coaches. It was the first day of the program. They ushered us into a conference room. There were about 25 to 30 adults sitting at tables, you know, with the little name tag and the... It makes me feel a little nervous, honestly. They were sitting at the table with their binders, and at the front there was a man. He was like a little bit like the stereotypical used car salesman. He was wearing a tux with like a suit with a big wide tie, and he welcomed us in and he introduced us. Now, prior to coming to DC, we had all had essence conversations where the program distilled our essence. And so when they introduced us, it sounded like, you know, Captain Planet. It was like, this is Kelsey. Kelsey is wisdom, joy, effervescence, invitation, and empathy. After that, we met our coaches, and then the group of us went into the courtyard because it was a sunny day. We were going to do that outside. So there were more coaches than there were clients, and that was intentional because at one table, I sat next to my coach, and then a teacher was there. It was actually the car salesman who was at my table. And then the rest of the students sat with their back towards us so they could listen and observe on the coach, but not intrude on our privacy. And this began the 45-minute coaching session. She asked me to introduce myself, and I laid it all out on the table. I told them what I had done, what I was doing, what I didn't want to do anymore, what I was scared of, what I was hopeful for. I talked about my family. I talked a little bit about my relationship. And when I thought that I had everything figured out and I put it all out on the table, I paused. And my life coach said nothing. Silence. And it wasn't a comfortable silence, okay? It was a little bit terrible. And I just was like, you know what? It's your first day. So I just said, I'm an open book. You can ask me anything. It's okay. And still she had nothing to say. Now, from my vantage point, I could see the other clients having conversations. And like, I can have a 45-minute conversation with like a cashier. So I was like, what is going on? What's wrong? And she was just so nervous. she kept looking at the binder and then looking up at me with like blank stare in her face. And it reminded me of the time in college where my roommate Annie and I were in a speech class, and she was at the front with index cards, like giving a really bad speech saying like essentially nothing. And at the end of the class, I was like, why didn't you just read off the index cards? And she showed them to me and they were blank. It's like, that wasn't helpful. So finally, my life coach, who is like so nervous she's barely audible, says to the teacher, I don't know what to say or ask. And he says, you just have to talk for 45 minutes. At that point, she looked at me and said, anything else? And I told her some more things about myself that I hadn't shared, like, you know, my favorite way to spend time, or, you know, what I was doing in 3rd grade. I had not much else to share. And when there was silence again, she looked at the coach that she has again and said, I don't know what to say. Anything else? And he said, sometimes it's just nice to sit in discomfort. And I was like, nice for who? Okay? But if you remember, one of my essence words is empathy, and I was starting to feel bad for her. And so I thought I could model how to ask questions. And so I essentially started asking my life coach, like, how did you get into this program? Like, what's important to you? Like, what are your goals? Like, how did you do that? What's your family life like? Oh, how did that affect the dynamic? And at the end of 45 minutes, I knew so much about her. And I was just grateful it was done, because she didn't know much about me. And we walked into the hotel to say goodbye. And she asked me if I had any questions or concerns. Yes, I did. So I asked, what should I expect? Because the next part of this program is hour-long phone calls every week. And I said, are there any tools or thought exercises that you use or that the program suggests? And she said, no, there are no tools. The program believes that you have the answers. You will guide the questions and the conversations. And then she looked at me and she said, you know, you'd make a good life coach. And I remembered my friends and family rolling their eyes and asking me if I was signing up for a pyramid scheme. And I realized I was getting exactly what I paid for.